Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Dark Night of the Soul and my personal story and experiences with it. I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. Now, why I'm going to talk about the Dark Night of the Soul? It all started with a friend of mine. Asking me cases about when we get disconnected to the ego, the I am, mindset, and sort of having an identity crisis, and how it eventually happens. And it all sounded like Dark Night of the Soul scenario to me. And that begs the question, what even is the Dark Night of the Soul? Stick around and I'll tell you all about it. I'm Thomas from The Soul for Speech. Thank you for joining my spiritual awakeness evolution journey. By being here, you are experiencing another great step in the evolution process. Thank you. Now, what is the Dark Night of the Soul? Dark Night of the Soul is a period in one's life that everything seems to go south. Its purpose is to strip you from some of your previous beliefs and values. It's symbolized by the tower, usually in tarot. And I know a lot of people are afraid of the tower when it comes to tarot. But remember that not all towers indicate a Dark Night of the Soul experience. However, the core principles or total change is inevitable and correct. It's basically a total change in life. For the better, of course, but that's very difficult to see. But it's often marked as the beginning towards the spiritual path. Many people do not even know that they've gone through it. And some even believe it only occurs once in life. But that's not true at all. It depends on you. An example of the Dark Night of the Soul can be, if you imagine you had a wife or a husband, you got a kid and a dog, right? Very lovely. Suddenly the dog dies. Your significant other loses their job, and you get the notion that your kid is being bullied in school and is hurt. What will happen to you? How will you react on this, right? This is a normal trigger for the Dark Night of the Soul to start taking shape. And that's what I mean that everything seems to go south when this happens. Okay? A lot of things, but I will talk about it. The death of your dog will make you value what you still got left. Even if your significant other lost their job, you still have each other, and you know it's only temporary, right? You get the chance to talk with your kid, let feelings flow, and you work through this together with love and understanding. Prior to this, you might have thought, we are economically supported. Can someone else please walk the dog? And the typical, come on, don't be bothered by it, right? We're only bullies. Don't get caught up in that type of shit. And could this be close to home? Maybe, who knows? But after an experience like that, you change your views and values regarding the situations. You learn to enjoy the small things. That's the purpose of the Dark Night of the Soul. To teach you gratitude for what you got. Something that is so important in this world. Showing gratitude, a sign of love, compassion, and care towards others, instead of the isolating me, myself, and I, which is very damaging, truly, very damaging. When I heard the call echoing within to do a video of Dark Night of the Soul, I was a bit, are you crazy? Yes, let's do it! In a quick mood of, do I dare? Oh yes, I dare. I dare. Yes, I do. Because it's so important to understand this phenomena and see how it can, and at some point even will, impact your life if you wish to walk down the path to spiritual awakening. It's not by fear I reacted this way, but by respect for it. It might seem weird to respect something which seems hurting, but thanks to it, I am where I am today. I had to change. And before I tell you about my experience with it, why don't tell you a bit about signs that you could check to see if you are going through a Dark Night of the Soul. Number one, A sudden big shift happened in your life that filled you with lots of grief. As within the example earlier, something happened in your life that has turned you from old cheery self to being to a being with little to none emotions. Number two, your motivations are beginning to fade or are all gone. What you used to enjoy earlier have all expired. You don't find bliss with things that used to make you happy. Seem familiar to anyone? Number three, you experience briefly or long-lasting stress, anxiety, and or depression. Negative periods does occur, and you start to feel some of those experiences. Number four, you have started asking the questions to your own existence. You wonder why you were born, your purpose, what life is like after death, and perhaps if you are even from Earth to begin with. And last but not surely, you start slowly but surely to gain confidence. After hitting rock bottom, you realize that the only way is up. And you start to enjoy the smaller thing, being grateful for what you have left. You are on the road to recovery and a huge expansion to a greater shift. Now it's time to talk about my experience with the Dark Night of the Soul. This is gonna get a little bit personal, but bear with me and yeah, just listen. So for context sake, let's go. Most of my life, from when I started school and about 7 to 8 years ago, I was bullied. I got ADHD, and the other kids thought it was funny to make me react. They did what they could by using words directed towards my appearance and self-esteem, so that has been low in most of my life. And they love beating me up, mostly in 1 versus 4 to 5 scenarios. I seem to be an easy target. Most of these were older boys. The others in my class only saw an angry child. But did they know why? No. Did they care to include me and ask? No. So I was very much alone for most of my time. I used video games and toys to distract me from the outside world and made friends online, and just a few in real world, which to this day is close to me now, luckily. But as time went on, I became taller and bigger. And while my self-esteem was still low, I was not bullied anymore. So I spent my junior high school seemingly trying to get to know everyone. You know, build friend relations with people, which I was supposed to do in primary school. So when others figured out what they wanted to do with their life, at least got a little gist of it, I had no idea. I did not know what I liked. I did not know what I was good at that would work for a career path. I had no clue. I was just focused on being social, finally having an exciting social life. It was not until the end of high school where I really got to feel it. Yes, I was insecure. Did not like my looks. Did not know who I were. How would I know? I had to grow up before I got the time to find out. However, I was very active in school politics for some years here and fought for students' rights. It was great. I had a purpose. Until one year when my term was up, and since it was my last year, I could not continue. So I had to go back to class, where I literally knew no one. When I realized how much I did not want this, and my social thing was over, well, I broke down. My first depressive breakdown. The first depressive breakdown. Tons of things building up over time. Brick by brick it built. And at some point, it was so unsteady that it broke, and I broke with it. The period after, I was dead with it. I did not sleep, and slept longer when I first fell asleep. I indulged in overeating. Stayed in bed / in my room for way over half of the day, and rarely got out. I rarely got out seeing people. I spoke down to myself, and of course, contemplated thoughts of ending it all. But it was all going to change, of course. I'm still here, and for good reasons. To share this message, for example, but much, much more. However, things were not good, and I hit rock bottom, one could say. But you were just a kid in your adolescence. Well, how many kids take their own life? You see, it's something different by being there and experiencing it and not. You can never, even when you have been to a similar situation or having a similar experience, ever compare. Because you were not there, inside the person with the experiences. I could never take my life because I had something burning within, a feeling, a hope, love and care for those around me. But that was my road to awakening. It was such a huge shift within because after time went by, I saw progress within. I started to finally see some of my talents. I started to embrace some of my gifts. Started to gain my confidence. Not taking back my confidence because it was never there, but gaining my confidence for the first and last time, hopefully. It took a long time from 2015 and all the way until truly 2019 until I experienced the full awakening and it started in my life, the big shift. In 2018, I started to truly like who I had become. And by the end of 2019, I could look myself in the mirror and say, I love you. Right? I love you. And that in itself is a blessing and a victory that I've come to value the most from this experience. The dark night of the soul does not come with an expiration date. There are no clear understanding for how long it will take for some. For some of short time perhaps, and others for a long time. However, once it has started and you are on your way back to recovery, your life will be different. Forever. For the better. And I will leave you with a saying I use a lot. You can't enjoy the sun if you haven't felt the rain. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to see more content like this, then please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like so that this video gets more visible and can reach those who needs to hear the message. If you want to go one step further, please share the video. I will appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Thomas from Soul for Speech. I want to leave you by saying that you are blessed, worthy, and stronger than you know and than you think. So no matter where you are in Gaia, I hope you have a good day. In love and light, peace.